Hello, good morning, and thank God it's Friday. You're welcome to TVC Breakfast. Just quickly to remind you that local government elections tomorrow. Please go out and exercise your civic duty, and also take cognizance of instructions from the Lagos State government. My name is Etoma Edu.
I love that. Well, good morning, Nigeria. Thank God it's Friday. We definitely love our Fridays right here. Welcome to TVC Breakfast. There's a lot on the table today, and we'll definitely be serving you. I am Ria Abdul.
It's another beautiful Friday. I'm Ibrahim Shita. It's good to have you join us this morning on the breakfast show. We'll be having a smooth sail this morning, God willing. Ria?
Very smooth, actually. I love Fridays.
Oh, yes.
Why do you like Fridays?
Yeah.
Because Fridays are quite lighter, and then it's close to the weekend. So I think I love my Fridays.
In fact, Friday is the weekend. Friday is the weekend.
It's the weekend.
I know, and we're really very much excited.
Right.
But there's a lot to talk about on the show today. We'll start with the story where the House of Representatives have launched a probe into alleged irregularities such as diversion of funds, non-compliance, and unethical practices in the disbursement of the student loan by the Nigerian Educational Loan Fund, NELFUND. Now, the Joint Committee has now given the Central Bank of Nigeria, Ministers of Finance and Education, and other key actors 48 hours to submit memorandum. National Assembly correspondent Joke Adisa reports.
A resolution of the House of Representatives in May mandated a joint committee led by student loan, scholarships and higher education financing to investigate alleged irregularities in the disbursement of loans to students by NELFUND. The National Orientation Agency amplified the allegation, describing it as a sabotage of the people and government's efforts. The investigative hearing opens with majority of the key actors conspicuously absent. The Parliament says it will not allow the student loan program to be compromised by administrative lapses or deliberate abuse of process.
We are particularly concerned by the report suggesting that certain institutions and stakeholders may have colluded to delay or conceal disbursements.
Our mandate here today is very clear: to objectively look into the allegations before us, to interrogate the operational processes guiding the disbursement of student loans.
This is a finance-related investigation, so therefore figures are very, very important.
At the technical session, the committee frowns at the sudden disappearance of NELFUND's Director of Finance. It also faults NELFUND for not providing necessary documents to substantiate its appropriation and expenditures. NELFUND says it has so far received 203 billion naira, out of which 10 billion naira is from appropriation, 143 billion naira from TET Fund, and 50 billion naira from EFCC as proceeds of crime.
The fees for the student to learn is paid directly by NELFUND from our account at the Central Bank of Nigeria to the institution's account.
The committee, through its chairman, tells TVC News it is prepared for a thorough probe.
During the investigative hearing, we had to adjourn because many critical stakeholders that were supposed to be on seats were not around, and the committee caused for their appearance at a later date that will be communicated to them.
The panel gives all absentee agencies 48 hours to send in their memoranda and be ready for appearance at the next session. NELFUND is to provide details of appropriations, releases and data on student beneficiaries in upkeep and student loans to the Joint Committee ahead of its next sitting. Joke Adisa, TVC News, Abuja.
You're welcome back. Now we're talking about NELFUND, and we're talking about students here. We always speak about accountability, and probing people for just checkmates to see if monies have been gone rightly. And now this probe is coming up. But now my fear is that I just hope it's not one of those probes that, they do it and after some time it goes down the drill, because we've spoken about this a lot of time. Education is key. Every child deserves a right to education. And now we're seeing that there's seemingly a little bit of corruption in the NELFUND, and that's why this probe is happening. But Etoma, what do you make of this?
You see, when figures like 50 billion, 150 billion, 75 billion, and so on is involved, you would expect some hanky-panky. For me, I think the system they are using right now encourages corruption. You know, you move it to the university, and then the university sends it to the children, to beneficiaries, and so on. Why don't we take a template from other countries that have been doing this student loan thing for decades, and it has been corruption-free, it has been seamless, and so on? We should do that. I think NELFUND should have a portal where interested students just have to prove that they are students of this institution, and they get this thing done directly, you know, through...
To the students themselves?
Yes, yes, via a portal, you know, make it a little bit seamless, reduce the number of human beings that have to gatekeep before it gets to the final student. If that kind of stuff system can be created, it will reduce so much of these stories we're hearing.
And you know, the thing is that just this week, we were talking about it on Trending Now. There was a video of a girl speaking about the great things that, you know, NELFUND is doing. And all of us were like, oh, so something like this is happening and we didn't even know about it. And now look at, we're talking about, you know, them probing it and the heavy amount of monies they're calling. Is there really transparency? And this probe, Ibrahim, do you think is just going to be another propaganda, or this probe is also going to give us good results?
Well, there's a charge for the National Assembly to look into, you know, the way the monies have been disbursed and been utilized, and whether those who applied for it are the one getting it in the first place. You know, we sat here, talked about the issue of students not getting the exact amount. Some universities deducting, you know, some amount of money from this particular loan, which is meant for the students' upkeep. And we always sit here, every Nigerian will sit and say, yes, this government is not doing so well. The government at the national level, even at the state level, aren't doing anything enough for the education sector. So when we have a government which came on board and felt, okay, we need to ensure that everyone goes to school, not the fact that you're not from a wealthy background or you're not from an affluent background, you shouldn't have access to education. And the government said, yes, we need to help the students, because we, even as a people, we had this same opportunity back in the day. So why not bring it up? It's something that obtains globally. But it's so sad that we still have our citadels of learning, being one of the gatekeepers, as the word you use, you know, being one of the gatekeepers as to not let these monies or these loans get to the students the way they should be utilized. So corruption is endemic. It's a global phenomenon, but we need to put strong systems in place to ensure that whatever we want to do, anytime we disburse the money or anytime we intend to, you know, utilize certain funds for something, it is then followed through. So we'll be able to see everything transparently, because if there are loopholes, people will always want to exploit these loopholes and, you know, fleece the students or fleece whoever, even the government. And even sometimes you will see that those who are even disbursing the money, but if you ask NELFUND, oftentimes they've been saying that we are not corrupt. I mean, sorry, they've been saying that there is no stealing of funds from their own end, and then they disburse the money the way they should. You know, we've seen the overall head, who had been here several times, you know, very articulate person, you know, giving us information as to how they're doing this, ensuring that students have access to these loans. But what about the schools? What about the officials? What about the, you know, intermediaries? So we should reduce human interaction with the process or with the flows of, you know, these funds.
That's my suggestion. Reduce human interaction. If you do reduce human interaction, we're going to have a seamless system that allows the reason for NELFUND to be established in the first place to be successful. You know, students can get these funds without bulk monies being sent to institutions.
I totally agree.
I heard, not confirmed, that students that apply through some institutions, you know, are charged some amount of money,
which is
that they have to pay upfront.
That's right.
Before their papers
before they have access to the
I say this all the time. Sometimes we are always blaming the government this, the government that. When I heard about NELFUND, I was very excited. I'm like, this is finally a good one. You know, Nigerian students get to go to school, because not many people can pay school fees outright. Not a lot of families can really send their children to school. So when this came up, I was really excited. But the fact that we always blame the government, but sometimes it's like we do evil ourselves. Because we spoke about the school where universities were taking money, and I cannot even comprehend it. This is education for Nigerian children. Why would you be taking money out of it? What is your gain? I now think, where is our humanness for fellow humans?
Right. Do you know the most popular FM in the world is WIFM? What is in it for me? It is easier for people to criticize, but by the time they are the one there, you know, at the helm of affairs to ensure that yes, things are done properly, the first thing they think is, what is the need for me? How do I gain from this? How do I reap from this, you know, loopholes, or from from things that are meant for fellow Nigerians or fellow nationals? So it's just it just boils down on Nigerians, on the kind of people that God has created, because it's a global phenomenon. But we need to put system, you know, very, very strong systems in place to ensure that yes, things are done the way they should be done.
I know, and every child deserves education. So if you have, you know, you're in a powerful place, you should not take it for granted, and please let things be done rightly. I really hope that this probe is going to come out and then we see results out of it.